Alcatraz, the Rock, a prison built to be escape-proof. Yet, in June of 1962, three men did the impossible. They vanished from America's most secure prison, and to this day, no one knows for sure if they survived. Curious guys. Alcatraz Island sits in the middle of San Francisco Bay, surrounded by icy waters, strong currents, and constant fog. The prison was designed for the most dangerous criminals, gangsters, bank robbers, and escape artists who had broken out of other prisons. It had reinforced concrete walls, steel bars, and guards watching around the clock. For years, the US government claimed Alcatraz was escape-proof. But on the night of June 11, 1962, three inmates proved them wrong. The mastermind was Frank Morris, a career criminal with a genius level IQ. He had already escaped from other prisons before being sent to the Rock.
Alongside him were brothers John and Clarence Anglin, bank robbers from Georgia.
They grew up swimming in rivers, which later made them perfect candidates for what was to come. A fourth man, Alan West, was part of the plan, but his story took a different turn. Over many months, the men secretly crafted one of the most daring escape plots in prison history. They noticed the concrete around the air vents in their cells was crumbling from years of moisture and neglect. Using homemade tools, a spoon stolen from the cafeteria, a drill made from a broken vacuum cleaner motor, and even pieces of wood, they began chipping away at the walls. To hide the noise, they played music during prison band practice. To hide the damage, they created fake vent covers made from cardboard and paint. Behind each cell, they carved out a tunnel that led to an unused utility corridor, basically a hidden highway inside the prison. Of course, the biggest challenge was getting past the guards during nightly bed checks. Their solution? Dummy heads.
Using soap, toothpaste, toilet paper, and real human hair collected from the prison barbershop, they crafted incredibly realistic heads.
At night, they placed these heads on their pillows, covered themselves with blankets, and from a distance it looked like they were sleeping soundly. On June 11, 1962, the plan went into action. Each man crawled through the hole in his cell wall. They climbed up pipes inside the utility corridor to reach the roof. From there, they carefully made their way across the prison yard and down to the shoreline.
Waiting for them was their homemade raft and life vests, sewn together from over 50 stolen raincoats. They used heat from steam pipes to seal the rubber.
Ingenious but risky. That night, under the cover of darkness, Morris and the Anglin brothers pushed their raft into the freezing bay waters and disappeared. The next morning, guards found the dummy heads still lying in bed. At first, they thought the prisoners were asleep, until one officer tapped a head and it rolled off the bed, smashing on the floor. A full-scale manhunt began immediately. Helicopters circled the bay. Boats searched the waters, but there was no trace of the three men. Only a few items were ever found. A makeshift paddle floating in the water, a waterproof bag containing some of the Anglin's belongings, but the men themselves, never. For decades, people debated, did they make it to freedom or did the bay claim their lives? Official FBI stance, they drowned. The water was too cold, the currents too strong. But others disagree. Oceanographers later showed that if they entered the water at the right time, the currents could have carried them safely to the marine headlands. In 2013, a letter surfaced, allegedly from one of the Anglin brothers, claiming he had lived in California for years after the escape. The handwriting and details were never fully verified, but it reignited the mystery. Family members of the Anglin brothers also claimed they received postcards, Christmas cards, and even photographs suggesting the men lived long after 1962. The 1962 escape from Alcatraz remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. It inspired books, documentaries, and even the Clint Eastwood movie Escape from Alcatraz. To this day, no bodies were ever recovered, and so the question lingers. Did Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers outsmart the rock? Or did the ocean swallow them whole? Maybe the real prison was believing Alcatraz was inescapable. Because on that foggy night in 1962, 3 men proved otherwise. And somewhere out there, the truth is still waiting to be discovered. Be informed and stay curious.